Today I'm going to talk to you guys about scary facts I've found online, and I'm going to tell you if I actually agree with it or, just really accept the fact and the theory that it really did happen. So let's go. So the first one is hearing is thought to be the last sense to go when a person dies. Even while in an unresponsive state, it's possible that people about to die are still able to hear. I actually believe this. You just have to imagine yourself in a situation where you're really gonna fade, and then after that you're gonna die in a way that you are just losing all your senses, and the only thing you can hear are just people around you. For example, if you go for a surgery and then they inject anesthesia in you, and then you eventually fall asleep, but this is different. You're literally going to die, and just before you fall asleep and not die, you will hear people around you speaking. And I think that is the reason why I have to agree that this fact is true. But if in like really freak accidents where where it really goes to the head, like for example like car accident, or when people hit their head to the ground before they die, I think probably they will die instantly. So I don't really think that they will hear anything, but just literally just die because of the impact. Also, have you guys heard about the bridge in US where people go there to like jump off for suicide? And I was actually thinking about it, and I I think the reason why they die is that I try to imagine how they jump off. First of all, when people jump off for, suicide from a very great height, they actually, and especially below for this bridge, there's the ocean. So basically, people just jump off, and the impact from them jumping off and depends on how they land. And the reason why they also could not survive even if they swam is because of the impact, and also the lungs and the internal organs are literally just smashed once they hit the ocean. So literally it's very clear dangerous situation, because even some people who attempt suicide, they can survive at like blessed times, but for this one, if they really jump down and they reach the ocean, they can't even, and the ocean is deep. Yeah, it's really very sad situation. So yeah. And next one, in Germany, a number of corpses have still not decomposed as long as 35 years after interment in one of the country's cemeteries. This phenomenon occurs when skin fat in buried bodies transforms into an organic substance called adipose, also known as corpse wax, which preserves the body. I don't know how to pronounce that, but still, this one is interesting because I feel like when we get buried under the ground when we die in certain religion, I feel like eventually we just decompose, because with the soil and everything, the process of just decomposing is there, and I believe that people really do decompose, but for this one it's just very different. But if I were to believe this, I would say that it might be true because of this substance that preserves the body. But I think mostly because the way I think about it and the way I imagine that people get buried, they eventually decompose. I think that it it might still be a bit, decomposed and a bit like just gone a bit, because it's not, this is like not like a mummy, right? I mean, because a mummy literally just is still preserved and intact. So for this one, I guess, I don't know, but I think overall, I think I just say that maybe, but like I still lean towards like, just the body decomposing and still just not like 100% intact. So next one, for the Zoroastrian Parsi community in India, earth, fire, and water are considered sacred elements which should not be degraded by the dead. This means that burial and cremation are forbidden. Instead, dead Parsis are taken to the Towers of Silence, raised structures built for the exposure of corpses to the elements to decay. Here, vultures soon eat the corpses before the bones are pushed into a circular opening in the center of the structure. So this one, I guess, that we have to take into consideration about their own culture and the way that they really do, not bury the corpse. But I think this one is pretty scary. Just imagine that vultures eat your corpse on land and just like that. And I think that's really scary. And then if that was like me, I think my spirit would be like watching like, oh no man, my body's being eaten by vultures. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just like, I guess it's a way to kind of say goodbye to this corpse. But pretty scary. Vultures are really scary big birds, aren't they? And for me, I have experiences where birds keep flying towards me, which caused me like really trauma because like I don't like when things fly towards me, especially birds, and they always do. Like for most times I can avoid it, but still it's very scary how they can swoop to my direction. So yeah. The Turritopsis thorny jellyfish, also known as the immortal jellyfish, can live forever, in theory at least. The creatures are able to revert to a sexually immature state after they've reached sexual maturity. Theoretically, this process can go on forever. So this one is pretty cool because actually these jellyfish, they can live forever because they are able to revert. So it's like, I'm gonna grow old, but then they revert back to being young. So it's pretty cool. So I would just believe this fact because it kind of does make sense in theory, but I've never seen this jellyfish. If I were to search and like show it to you guys, it might be great. But if I can't, then we'll move on to the next facts. So next fact is mobile phones are one of the dangerous objects we come into contact with on a daily basis. With around 25,127 bacteria per square inch, mobile phones are around 3 times dirtier than a doorknob and 20 times dirtier than a toilet seat. So basically I agree with this. When we're on our phones, we would just like, before that we would touch things and then we would type on our phone, or we just scroll and watch videos, and then our fingertips are just, they touch a lot of things before, and then now we're on our mobile phones. So it's just really contaminated. And yeah, I would believe it. You know, when you do like a swab on like a table or anywhere, literally you can do a swab on objects and you can just know under a microscope or something when you swab it, especially in like those science experiment where you put it on like I forgot, like a jelly, and you can see the germs like multiply, especially in heat. So it's just really something that is pretty cool if we actually have done it. But I do believe that mobile phones are really dirty. That's why we have to, not be on our phones for too long, I guess. But I guess with like us being very hooked to technology, I guess we just need to take our breaks. And also like wash our hands, like sanitize our hands. Obviously with the COVID-19 you guys have to do that. So, with this, just wash your hands, sanitize your hands more.